Most women believe men get attached to beauty. That's not true. A man might admire beauty, but what truly makes him attached runs deeper, something emotional. Today, I'm going to share 3 powerful behaviors that make a man not only like you, but stay drawn to you in a way he won't even fully understand. Picture this: he could meet 100 beautiful women, but the one he cannot get out of his mind is the one who gives him a feeling he can't find anywhere else. That's the real secret. It's never about pretending or playing games. It's about touching parts of his heart and mind that make him long for your presence. And when you do this, he'll want to pursue you, appreciate you, and hold on tightly. Before I explain these 3 amazing behaviors, stay until the end, because the last one is the key reason he'll see you as unforgettable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you did everything right? You looked great, you were kind, fun, easy to talk with, and still he pulled back, or even worse, lost interest without any clear reason? If that's ever happened, you're not alone. And here's the truth: what keeps a man connected to a woman has little to do with appearance, and almost everything to do with how you reach that emotional part of his mind that longs for closeness. Hi ladies, welcome. In this video, I'm showing you 3 natural but powerful behaviors that make a man emotionally tied to you in a way that feels easy and real. These are not tricks or manipulations. They are feminine habits that connect straight to a man's inner need to feel noticed, respected, and safe enough to truly love. We're going deeper than common advice and into the psychology of attraction. The type of connection many people don't even notice they're creating when someone becomes unforgettable. By the end of this, you won't just understand men better, you'll know exactly how to show up in a way that makes the right man feel magnetically drawn to you and never want to let go. So, if you're ready to stop chasing and start being chosen, keep watching. Let's begin with the first behavior that quietly captures his heart. When people ask what hooks a man to a woman, they usually think it's looks. While attraction matters, that's only the spark. What truly makes a man emotionally tied is how he feels about himself when he's with you. Think carefully about that. Men, like women, are emotional, even if they don't always show it. Deep down, they are always asking, even without words, do I feel seen? Do I feel valued? Do I feel like a real man in her presence? Not because of my career, money, or status, but because of who I really am. When a man meets a woman who awakens these feelings, he becomes attached emotionally. It's not about control. It's not about playing with his thoughts. It's about true connection. Many women put their effort into trying to impress men, but the women men can't forget, their secret is different. They don't perform. They don't compete. They don't try to prove their worth. Instead, they create a space that feels like home. It's comforting but also full of life, a space where he feels admired but also challenged. Here's what surprises a lot of people. Emotional attachment doesn't come from drama or small games. Those things may bring quick excitement, but they fade fast. Real lasting connection forms when a woman carries both softness and standards. She doesn't run after him. She doesn't give endlessly just to be loved. But when she's present, she is truly present, warm, curious, confident in her own worth. A man becomes emotionally attached when he realizes he can be his true self with you while still feeling like the strongest version of himself. In a world that often teaches men to hide feelings and always act tough, meeting a woman who accepts both his light and his flaws, that is rare. That is what pulls him in. And in just a moment, I'll show you how to awaken this in him, starting with the first natural behavior that changes everything. Stay with me, because this one will completely shift how you view connection. So what's the first behavior that really pulls a man close? Feminine energy. But before I explain, let's be clear. Feminine energy is not about being weak, passive, or submissive. That's old thinking, and it's wrong. Feminine energy is powerful, magnetic, and deeply attractive because it connects with something men don't even know they're craving. In a world that demands men always perform, provide, and stay strong, feminine energy gives them something rare: peace, softness, and emotional depth. When you're in your feminine, you're not chasing, you're receiving. You're not trying to prove your worth, you live it. You are present, open, expressive, and you let things unfold without trying to force or control. Here's the real secret. When a man feels this energy, he doesn't just notice you, he feels safe. Not in a boring way, but in a way that lets him drop his mask, lower his guard, and connect with you, the real you, not the version trying to win him. He might not even be able to put it into words, but emotionally, it's impossible to resist. Why is that? Because feminine energy is rare. So many people live in constant hustle, always doing, proving, fixing, analyzing. But when you show up in your being, not only your doing, you immediately stand out. So what does this look like in real life? It's in the way you embrace your joy, the way your smile lights up your whole face, the way you pause before answering instead of reacting instantly, the way you give space in a conversation, the way you share how something makes you feel rather than always jumping to logic or solutions. When you are connected to your feminine, you speak from your heart, your body, your intuition, not just your thoughts, and men sense it deeply. You're not trying to control how they see you, you're not acting or performing, you're simply being. And strangely enough, that is exactly what makes you unforgettable, because here's what happens. When a man meets a woman fully in her feminine, he naturally shifts into his masculine. Not because she demands it, but because the balance allows it. She becomes the calm in his chaos, the warmth to his sharpness, the mystery to his reasoning. That contrast, that rhythm, is what creates lasting desire. Feminine energy doesn't mean being less. It's about being completely yourself without apology. It's about trusting who you are, trusting the process of life, and trusting the bond between you. And when a man feels that deep trust flowing from you, it touches a place in him that very few ever reach. That is why it's the first quality that makes him feel deeply drawn to you, not only on the surface, but on a soul level. Now let's look at the science behind this, because feminine energy is not just a feeling. It actually changes how a man's brain responds to you. When you show up calm, centered, emotionally open, and fully present, his brain begins certain chemical reactions that feel almost addictive. But unlike short bursts of lust or shallow obsession, this kind of bond is rooted in emotional safety, attachment, and genuine attraction. Here's what happens inside. When a man feels admired, accepted, and emotionally safe with a woman, his brain releases a powerful mix of chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Dopamine is the chemical of reward. It rises when he's around someone who excites him and makes him feel alive, especially when that person carries a sense of feminine unpredictability. Not chaos, but the surprise of her depth, her emotions, her playful spirit, and her joy. That's what lights up his brain. All of this creates dopamine. He begins to link your presence with pleasure, excitement, and anticipation. Then comes oxytocin, the chemical of bonding. This is so key. When a woman makes a man feel safe emotionally, when he feels accepted without being judged, when he can show his sensitive side without being seen as weak, oxytocin flows. That's what builds trust. It makes him want to be near you, to share openly, to go deeper. It's what turns attraction into true connection. And then there is serotonin, the chemical that supports balanced moods and stability. When a man feels respected and emotionally understood, his serotonin steadies. He feels calmer, more grounded, and more himself in your presence. Again, he starts linking this good, steady feeling to you. But what does this mean? His brain begins to attach those emotions directly to you. That means whenever he sees you, hears from you, or even thinks about you, he feels that rush of chemicals. Without realizing, he starts craving you. Not just your looks, but the way your energy feels and the way his heart rests around you. This is why some women remain unforgettable, not because they always say the perfect line or fit a certain appearance, but because they awaken this emotional chemistry that makes a man feel safe, alive, and deeply connected. It's not about being flawless, it's about being real, being present, and standing in your feminine energy, because that is what changes everything. When you learn how to naturally spark this response, you stop running after love. Love begins to run after you. Now that you see the emotional science behind this, let's move into another powerful quality. This one quietly earns respect and lifts your value in his eyes right away. If feminine energy is what pulls him toward you, then self-respect is what keeps him there. And not just keeps him in a dull way, but keeps him hooked, engaged, and emotionally invested. There is something magnetic, almost impossible to resist, about a woman who respects herself so much that she refuses to accept confusion, crumbs, or half love. Here's what many misunderstand. Self-respect doesn't need to be loud. It isn't about arrogance, ego, or shouting, "I don't need a man." Real self-respect is steady, calm, and unshakable. It's the quiet strength of a woman who knows her value and won't lose herself just to gain someone's attention. Men sense this instantly. They feel your standards even when you never say them aloud. You don't beg, you don't chase, you don't explain your worth because it shows without words. This creates a big shift. Instead of you working to win him, he starts asking himself, "Am I enough for her world?" That thought alone, that subtle realization that he must rise to meet you, awakens true desire and commitment. Here's the simple truth: men respect women who respect themselves. Period. When you don't allow mixed signals, you show him how to treat you. When you take your time instead of rushing, you give him space to recognize your value. When you're willing to walk away from what doesn't align, even when it hurts, you prove that you are the prize, not an option. Self-respect also shows itself in your boundaries, not as cold walls, but as filters. You don't shut out love, but you guard your peace. You're not cold, but you also don't shrink yourself to hold on to someone. You can be soft yet firm, open yet selective, and that balance is powerfully attractive to a masculine man. Because a strong man doesn't want someone to fix, he wants a partner. He wants to feel that if he chooses you, it's because you chose yourself first. He wants to know your love comes from fullness, not emptiness. Yes, some men may waste time with women who don't carry self-respect, but they build real futures with women who embody it. And when you combine feminine warmth with firm self-worth, you become magnetic in every part of life. This is what forms real emotional bonds. He doesn't just want your time or your body. He yearns for your attention, your presence, your yes. And when you give that honestly and not freely to all, it becomes the most valuable thing in his world. Now let's picture how this shows up in daily life. Because theory is nice, but how does it look in reality? Imagine this: you're talking with him, and instead of rushing to solve his issues or covering him with advice, you simply listen. Truly listen with care and interest. You give him room to share without pressure or judgment. That emotional presence signals safety. It pulls him closer because he feels heard and understood. Or imagine you're out together, and instead of trying to control every detail, you let the moment flow. You laugh easily. You allow your playful side to shine and enjoy the time. That joy lights up dopamine in his brain, the reward chemical. He begins to connect you with fun, lightness, and happiness. Another example is how you stand by your boundaries. Maybe he texts late or tries to make last-minute plans. Instead of dropping everything, you kindly say, "I'd love to see you, but I need my time tonight." You're not cold or dismissive, you're clear, calm, and firm. This type of self-respect makes him value you more and motivates him to step up. That natural challenge deepens attraction. There's also a strong charm in being both vulnerable and resilient. When you share a piece of your heart, your hopes, or even your struggles without shame, it builds emotional closeness. He feels welcomed into your world, and that honesty builds trust. This intimacy triggers oxytocin, the bonding chemical, making him want to stay connected. And don't underestimate the power of mystery. You don't reveal everything at once. You keep some curiosity alive. Maybe you hint at your passions or share parts of your journey, but you leave space for him to ask more and discover. That little intrigue keeps him excited and wanting to know you deeper. Finally, think about disagreement. The way you act during conflict changes everything. Instead of reacting with anger or trying to win, you stay calm, centered, and confident. That shows maturity and self-respect. It naturally earns his respect and strengthens your connection. These everyday moments are where all of these beautiful qualities take root and bloom in real life. They build emotional bonds, create trust, and spark attraction. Not by playing tricks or games, but through real and honest connection. Always keep in mind, it's the blend of feminine energy, self-respect, and emotional comfort in action that pulls a man toward you in a way that feels deep, lasting, and truly meaningful. Now, let's move into how emotional safety becomes the secret key that keeps him loyal in the long run. This brings us to the third and maybe most important behavior that makes a man feel deeply connected to you, and that is creating emotional safety. It may sound simple at first, but emotional safety is the foundation of any strong and lasting relationship. Without it, attraction can slowly fade, and love may struggle to grow. Emotional safety is about making a space where he feels free to be his true self without fear of being judged, rejected, or criticized. It's about being the kind of woman who listens without jumping too quickly to conclusions, who gives support without trying to control, and who loves without placing conditions on that love. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, his guard finally begins to fall. He no longer feels the need to act like he is always strong or perfect. He starts to open up in ways he never expected, sharing his worries, his hopes, and even the softer sides of himself. When this happens, it creates a closeness unlike anything else. A connection so strong and personal that he becomes emotionally attached in the healthiest and most genuine way possible. So, how do you actually create this kind of safety? It begins with the energy you bring. Are you patient when he shares something difficult? Do you respond with kindness and empathy? Or do you react defensively and lose patience? Do you make him feel truly heard and understood, even when your opinion is different from his? These small acts of real care add up over time, building a strong foundation of trust. Creating emotional safety also needs consistency. He must feel that he can rely on you not only when life is smooth, but especially when things get tough and messy. If you stay calm, steady, and supportive during both good and hard times, he realizes your love is not fragile or conditional. That sense of reliability is powerful and magnetic to him. Another part of this is respecting his emotional limits. Sometimes a man may not be ready to share everything right away, and that's completely okay. Forcing him or pushing too hard can actually make him close off instead. Instead, give him the space and time he needs to open up naturally at his own pace. Let him know you're there, ready to listen whenever he feels ready. You also build emotional safety by handling your own emotions with care. When conflicts or tense situations arise, your ability to stay calm and balanced shows him you are secure in yourself. This steadiness makes him feel safe enough to express his true thoughts and feelings. Remember, emotional safety does not mean avoiding all disagreements or struggles. That's impossible in real life. It means creating a space where challenges can be faced together without fear that love will fall apart. When a man feels emotionally safe, his brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which makes him crave closeness and intimacy. This isn't a surface-level attraction, it's a deep, soul-level connection. And here's something special. Women who give emotional safety never need to chase after love. Men naturally want to stay close, to protect, and to commit to the woman who makes them feel this way. So as you lean into your feminine energy and hold firm to your self-respect, always remember that emotional safety is the glue that ties it all together. Now let's take a look at how these behaviors create lasting loyalty, turning simple attraction into a long-term bond. When we talk about making a man deeply attached, it's easy to only think about attraction or chemistry, but the real secret, the thing that changes sparks into a steady flame, is loyalty. So what truly makes a man stay loyal over the long run? Loyalty is not about control or strict rules. It is a choice a man makes every day because he feels seen, respected, and emotionally fulfilled. When he decides to stay loyal, it's because being with you adds something valuable to his life that he knows he cannot find anywhere else. One of the strongest reasons men stay loyal is when they feel truly valued and understood on a deep level. This is more than physical looks or casual compliments. It's about being accepted for who they are, flaws and all, and encouraged in their growth rather than being pushed to change. When a man feels this kind of acceptance, it creates a powerful bond he has no desire to lose. Trust is another essential part of loyalty. Trust is the backbone that holds it up. When a man believes you honestly care for him, speak with truth, and respect his personal boundaries, he feels safe to give his whole heart to the relationship. This trust allows him to show up as his full self without fear of judgment or rejection. Men also stay loyal when they feel their efforts are seen and appreciated. When you show gratitude for his time, his care, and even the little thoughtful things he does, it builds a cycle of positivity. He feels valued, which inspires him to keep putting in effort. Loyalty grows stronger in relationships where both partners feel equally recognized and supported. Emotional closeness is another major piece. Sharing dreams, fears, and your truest self creates a bond that is difficult to replace. This closeness makes the relationship feel like a true partnership. Two people facing life's challenges and joys as a team. At the same time, it's important to keep your individuality alive. A man admires a woman who has her own passions, her own identity, and her own world outside of the relationship. Staying true to yourself creates respect and admiration, and that naturally deepens loyalty. Consistency is key as well. Being dependable, kind, and emotionally available over time shows him that your relationship is built on solid ground. When a man sees that you are steady, genuine, and trustworthy, he is far more likely to give his heart fully for the long run. Loyalty is not some hidden mystery. It's built on closeness, trust, respect, appreciation, and being real. When you live out these values, you don't have to chase or compete for his attention. A man who truly values you will keep choosing you again and again, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. Finally, let's bring everything together as we come to the last part of this journey. Take a moment to pause and really absorb all we've explored. You now understand the three powerful behaviors that make a man deeply connected to you: embracing your feminine energy, protecting your self-respect, and creating emotional safety. These aren't tricks or shortcuts. They are the roots of real, lasting love that keeps a relationship alive. The truth is, attraction and love don't come from pretending to be someone else or trying harder and harder. They grow when you show up as your true self, confident, authentic, and emotionally open. When you live these behaviors, you don't just grab a man's attention, you touch his heart. Your next step is simple, yet life-changing. Start practicing these behaviors regularly. It's not about perfection or doing everything at once. Begin with one small shift. Maybe it's leaning into your feminine energy by bringing more joy and presence into your daily life. Or maybe it's setting a boundary that protects your self-respect, or practicing deeper listening that strengthens emotional safety during your conversations. With time, these small, steady practices build momentum. Every time you show up with these qualities, you reshape the pattern of your relationship, making it almost impossible for him not to feel connected to you on a deeper level. And remember, this journey is also about self-love. When you truly love yourself with honesty and strength, you shine with a magnetic energy that no one can overlook. You become a light that naturally draws the right person toward you, someone who values you, respects your boundaries, and wants to create a future with you. If you are here listening, chances are you are ready for that kind of love. You are ready to stop settling for less and start experiencing a connection that feels supportive, secure, and lasting. That readiness itself is your hidden strength. So here's your plan of action. Decide which behavior feels easiest to begin with. Commit to practicing it every day. Notice how it changes your interactions, lifts your confidence, and affects the way he responds. Write down your progress or share it with someone close to you. Celebrate every step you take, because each step is a real victory. Above all, don't rush the process. Real, lasting love grows in its own time. When you respect your own pace and honor your worth, you naturally attract the relationship that is truly right for you. Thank you for being here. If this message touched you, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and pass it along to someone who may need this reminder. And don't forget to subscribe for more guidance to help you create the love life you deserve. The next step is in your hands, and I fully believe in you. Here's to the beautiful journey ahead.